Y'all, it is that time again. We have two brand new cards coming to us in the Silk Hero Pack that we get to review or preview on this channel. So FFG sent these over to me, so thank you to FFG for sending these over. I'm very excited to dive into these two cards. Both of the card images are going to be down below in the comments, so if you want to grab those and share them wherever you want to, please feel free to do so. Now, these are both protection cards, and I absolutely love protection cards. Protection is by far my favorite aspect in the entire game, and these have some synergies with some of the protection archetypes, or I would say just archetypes in general that I love to play. So let's talk about this first one. It is the Stun Gun. The Stun Gun is a 2-cost upgrade that comes in with 2 counters. It is a tech and weapon traded, which is pretty important for a couple of reasons that we're going to dive into, especially with card number 2 that we're going to preview here in a second, but let's talk about that in a few minutes. It is a hero action, and you get to choose. You can remove either 1 counter or 2 counters for different effects. If you remove 1 of the 2 counters, you can stun a minion, and if you remove both of the counters that the card comes in with, you can stun the villain. Now, honestly, I'm a little lukewarm on this card, especially if we remove the tech and weapon traits from the game, because for the effect, it feels a little underpowered. It's 3 effective resources to block a villain activation. Feels a little bit expensive though there are ways and spots for this card to thrive. But if we're looking at it just kind of clearing the level field, just what does it do on paper? 3 effective resources is a little bit expensive. I always kind of like to compare it to like a 2-cost ally that can effectively do the same thing, right? 2-cost ally can chump block, preventing a attack from coming in, but it can also thwart or attack before it does that. We do have a lot of 2-cost allies in the game, and so it's going to be hard for me, unless I'm specifically building around the tech trait or have some synergy there, to run this card over just another ally. That being said, there are some scenarios like Thunderbolts or scenarios with huge minions where this is going to be better, right? Thunderbolts, you're effectively fighting a villain that has the minion keyword. So you can stun the minion twice, effectively getting 3 effective resources for 2 blocks of that elite Thunderbolt minion that's on the table. And then you have some other big minions out there like Dragon or Mr. Hyde, or things that are going to just hit you really hard. That can slow this down. And so this feels like a card that is going to be pretty good if you kind of know what you're going up against, especially if you're playing multiplayer, because as you are seeing more encounter cards with multiplayer, like 4 cards, 4 players, you're seeing 4 times the amount of cards, you're much more likely to see Dragon pop up in that game, which then you can lock down for 2 rounds, and then you can take them out. Another really fun interaction here is if you have a villain with Overkill that also doesn't have Stalwart, which can be kind of hard to find, but if you have a villain with Overkill, a stun is going to be more effective than an ally when you're blocking. But what is nice here is it's actually the tech trait. And this is kind of where the redeeming quality, I don't even know if it's a redeeming quality. This is where I'm super excited to see this card get played, because protection loves tech because we have repurpose. This is a repurpose 0-cost card where you can discard a tech upgrade you have, and then you get to ready, and you get to choose one of your stats and get an additional benefit to that set equal to the printed cost of the card. So this 2-cost upgrade to repurpose is pretty nice. But you can't get the stun out of the villain if you do so, but you do kind of want to at least use one of those counters, I would think, to get that some efficiency out of the card. So if you can use a charge to stun a minion, then you can repurpose it. That feels pretty good. There's a couple of ways where you can kind of clear out some minions, or maybe just effectively ignore minions by stunning them and then repurposing and then pushing for that villain. So there are some situations there. And the last thing that I will say that I'm really excited is to run this in Iron Man. Iron Man gets his hand size up by 1 for every tech card that he has on the table. This is a tech card. It's a restricted card, so it's probably going to take the slot of plasma pistols in like that repurpose or tech ramp build for Iron Man. So those plasma pistols are the basic cards. Now this is the same cost. Iron Man doesn't really need that ping damage, and so that stun on a minion or even the villain could be pretty effective. It does have that lightning trait for the repulsor blast. Wow, that was hard to say. And What I do like about this is that over Plasma Pistol, it can be played with a power of protection. So if you're running those for your energy barriers, your force field generators, all your other tech stuff in green, this just gives another target for that power of protection to justify running that double in green a little bit easier. I am very curious to hear where you all are going to be using the stun gun. Let me know down in the comments. But let's move on to our next card, because I think maybe you will be running the stun gun if you're running the second preview card that we have today, which is Spider-Byte. So more Web Warriors. Yeah, let's go. Spider-Byte is a 3-cost, 2 thwart, 1 attack, 2 health, but their ability is you get to reduce the cost to play her by 1 for each tech card you control. Now this is amazing in green, where we have so many tech cards like Stun Gun, but even more staples like Energy Barrier, Electrostatic Armor, Force Field Generator, and most of the time I'm playing in green, I have at least 1 tech card out. Energy Barriers are phenomenal. If I'm running a perfect defense, I probably have an Energy Barrier or an Electrostatic Armor or something like that. If I'm running Repurpose, you know I got tech cards out, and then there's a lot of heroes that just have tech cards. So if you only have one, you make her a 2-cost, 2 thwart ally. So put her on the table for 2 cost, she can thwart, then block an activation. And this is kind of what I wanted to say without spoiling this card in the first section. If you compare these two, if you have 1 tech card out, so there is a prereq over the stun gun, right? But think game state, if you have a tech card out, now you're getting for 3 effective resources, a villain block and 2 threat removal. So instead of just 2 threat removal for the stun gun. So that's why I was saying most likely I'm going to be prioritizing like lower cost allies that can chump block that villain a little bit more. But in my perfect defense builds, let's theory craft a little bit. I easily have 3 tech cards out. That could be Electrostatic Armor and 2 force field, or not 2 force fields. You can't do that. That's illegal. 2 energy barriers, which means that if you have 3 or more tech cards out, she's free to play every time you see her in your hand. And since thwarting is typically a problem in our perfect defense build, we can probably see her like a free 4 thwart card, because you're not, a lot of the times in a perfect defense build, you're not like chump blocking with your allies. So you get 2 activations, that's 4 threat removal. That's a big deal in a lot of these true solo perfect defense builds, because if you're exhausted going into the hero phase, you have a lot less flexibility on where you can divvy up that threat removal. And you don't even have to be a Web Warrior to play her. So that's super exciting as well, because a lot of these Web Warrior cards, you require you to have another Web Warrior card to play that card. So now you can play this card and you can satisfy those prereqs for our other cards out there. I am very excited to see how she plays. She seems really strong for what she does and can lean into the Web Warrior strategy as well, right? If you have Web of Life and Destiny, if you are playing her for 0 cost, that's 1 effective resource. That means that when she leaves play, you're net even on resources, which is really cool. 0 cost allies are a crazy fun thing to think about. Are we gonna break it with like Nowhere and Star-Lord getting effectively free allies? Can we go the full Web Warrior build with Adam Warlock, where we can break out and bring all of the Web Warriors from any of our aspects? And that includes the new Web Warrior friends that Web Warrior Fanatic himself previewed, where we're going to get to do some ping damage when they come in. I'm seeing the Web Warrior trait shape up to be very similar to like the Sylvan trait in Lord of the Rings. And I am just so excited because I love playing those pop in, pop out, see where we can manipulate the table and get benefits for them entering and leaving play. It's just, it's so much fun. There are just so many options for how Spider-Byte can be played and be utilized. So let me know what you think of Spider-Byte as well as Stun Gun down in the comments. And thank you for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. See you around.